Hey guys, my name is Seth Caldwell, and today I'm going to be giving my speech on bowling. Bowling is a sport that has really piqued my interest in the past year or so since I've started bowling. And when I say started bowling, I've bowled my whole life, but not consistently. I've started bowling consistently in the past year or so, and I've gotten so much better from watching videos on YouTube and just asking people at the bowling alley about how they get better. And the way I got into bowling was one day I was really bored and I was sitting on YouTube scrolling through my phone like a lot of us do when we're bored. And I was looking for something to entertain me. So I came across a video about a guy who scores a 300 game, and a 300 game is the best score you can achieve in the game of bowling. This is when you strike every single frame. And I watched this video, and this guy was using two hands to bowl his bowling ball. And that really shocked me because I figured the only way you bowled was just with one hand, like most people do. So I watched this guy bowl, and he bowls strike after strike after strike and gets a 300 game. He had a perfect game, which is really rare. And it's really rare to do on TV, which he did. So this really interested me, and I wanted to learn more about it, and I started researching. I started going bowling more, and now I'm a pretty decent bowler. My high score is a 242, and I'm hoping to get a 300 one day. So a little bit about how bowling works is that there are 10 frames per game, and the objective of bowling is to score the highest score possible. You can either leave a strike, a spare, or an open frame. What you do not want to do is leave an open frame. This is when you don't strike and you don't spare, but you leave pins up at the end of the frame. You do not want to do this because it's going to make your score lower, and obviously you want to knock down as many pins as possible to achieve a higher score. So the way a strike works is when you bowl a strike, the 2 frames after that strike are counted on to your original strike. So let's say I bowl a strike and then I bowl 2 more strikes, then those combined scores are going to add on to that strike, and it's going to keep multiplying and multiplying and multiplying, and that's a way to get your score really high, is to bowl multiple strikes in a row. A spare works when you bowl and you knock down less than 10 pins, and then you bowl again and knock down the other pin, and you complete the frame. All the pins in that frame are knocked down. That is a spare. And the way a spare works is that when you bowl a spare, the next roll you have after bowling that spare adds on to the spare. So let's say I have a spare, and then my next bowl get 9. Then 9 will be added on to the previous score. So that is a good way to achieve higher scores as well. But what you mainly want to do is strike and not leave open frames. This is easier said than done. Trust me, I know, because I failed to do this many times when I go bowl. There are 2 styles of bowling, which are two-handed and one-handed. The casual bowler bowls one-handed. Well, when you walk up to the lane and when you first start bowling, you're just going to take the ball and bowl it straight and hope to not get it in the gutter. While this is perfectly fine to do if you're a casual bowler, I'm not saying that you need to go all in and go super professional with it like I do sometimes. But the way, if you want to get better at bowling, is I recommend using 2 hands. And when you use 2 hands, you have your fingers in the bowling ball and you're holding it like you're cradling it. And you put your other hand, your non-dominant hand, on the bowling ball to guide the bowling ball through on your release. This is going to generate more power for you, and it's going to generate more speed, and the direction of your ball is going to be a lot better than using one hand, because when you use one hand, you have the chance of not going straight with it, but you can pull it to the left or to the right, and this causes it to roll into the gutter, which you do not want. There are also 2 methods of bowling. You can either curve the ball or you can roll it straight. Now, rolling it straight is also fine. If you're good at this, then stick with it. But if you want a higher chance of achieving a strike, then I recommend curving the ball. Curving the ball is when you bowl, and when you release the ball, you add a curve. So you're spinning your hand on top of the ball, generating a sideways curve, and it's going to make a revolution. And as it goes down the lane, it's going to go like this and then curve into the pins, opposed to going straight into the pins. And it's going to hit the pocket perfectly in the pins, which is going to create a strike. This is what you want to do. You want to hit the ball, you want to hit the pins from an angle rather than straight on. This is going to give you a higher score and a higher chance of achieving a strike. Tips on how to get better at bowling are practice, practice, practice. This is pretty much the only way that you're going to get better, is if you keep going consistently and you ask around your bowling alley for help. I know I've done this, and this has been a great help for me. If I see someone that's really good, I'll go up to them and be like, hey man, how did you get so good, and can you give me some tips? So a big thing is using your resources and knowing who to ask and just doing your research online, and I wish you the best of luck. Go bowling.